Welcome to the Week 3 Power Rankings. There was some pretty crazy games this week, lots of shakeups in the rankings, so without further ado, let's start with number 10. At number 10, we have Chris, who is 0-2. He dropped 2 spots in my rankings from last week. He didn't have Demaryius Thomas going crazy, so he didn't score that many points. Pretty much everyone on his team that wasn't Matt Ryan or Jamal Charles underperformed like crazy, and his depth looks terrible. He needs to find someone to fit into the flex that'll perform well if he's going to have any sort of consistency over the season. I've got Austin at number 9. He's 1-1. He went up 1 spot. He made some more bad decisions this week, which I feel he's going to do every week from here on out by starting the wrong quarterback. And he needed ridiculous, miraculous comeback performances from Marshawn Lynch going beast mode and our good friend Gino Vonnie Bernard in the Monday night game. He's going to need to prove some consistency if he's going to climb any higher in my rankings. At number 8, I got Dale, who was 1-1 after this week. He dropped 4 spots after losing the Brother Bowl to Derek. He had some pretty ridiculous bench scoring, but unfortunately for him, that was coupled with terrible performances from almost all of his starters. You have to expect Brees to bounce back next week, but there could be some quarterback controversy in the Ninth Ward with Vic racking up the points on his bench right now. At number 7, I've got Chinny, who's 1-1 as well. He dropped 4 spots. He would have had a legitimate shot at winning this week if both of his running backs, Eddie Lacy and Reggie Bush, didn't leave the games early with injuries. His wide receivers have continued to perform, but he's got a weak flex, and underperforming Jason Witten mixed with his RB injuries doomed him to lose this week. At number 6, I got Jeff, who was 0-2. He dropped 1 spot in my rankings. He's been scoring big every week, but he can't seem to get a win, which is hurting him in the rankings. He looked kind of top-heavy this week, with almost all of his scoring coming from his quarterback, running backs, and Deshaun Jackson. He's looking to bounce back next week, and hopefully for Jeff, Derek won't score so many points. At number 5, I've got myself at 1-1. I dropped 4 spots. I had a pretty bad week from every player on my team that's not named Dez Bryant. After 2 straight terrible weeks from MJD and David Wilson, I'm going to have to do a little bit of tinkering with my lineup. I had to drop myself pretty far because I am the Montezuma's Revenge Team of the Week, so you'll be seeing my picks for that coming in the next couple days. At number 4, I've got Dave Chung, who is 2-0. He rose 3 spots in my rankings. He had a pretty good, evenly distributed scoring from his starters and his bench, which he struggled to find last week with Peyton being his only reliable scorer. He's proven these draft report cards that we got at the beginning of the year right, with 2 wins to start the season, and he hopes to keep rolling next week against Dale. I got Derek at number 3 in my rankings. He is also 2-0. He went up 6 spots this week. He won the Brother Bowl and with a convincing win after lackluster performances in week 1. Rodgers and Graham are proving that they're going to continue to be fantasy beasts, which almost won this game against Dale on their own. At number 2, I got TJ at 1-1, who went up 4 spots in my rankings. He had pretty good overall scoring from most of his players. He had a little bit of underperformances from a couple, but Luck has proven himself as a reliable fantasy starter, and all of his studs are proving themselves to be worth their draft picks. At number 1, I have Mike at 1-1. He raised 1 spot this week. Calvin Johnson rebound as we all expected, and he got pretty good performances from all of his other players. Though, just because he's number 1 doesn't mean his team's flawless. Tom Brady continues to underperform, and you have to wonder if he's still going to be worth starting every week. Add in his lack of depth at every position, and he's got some moves that he needs to make if he wants to keep it up. But a win over last week's highest scoring team cannot be denied. He looks at an easy matchup next week against Chris, so he looks to keep on rolling. That about wraps it up for this week. Our biggest riser this week was Derek, who went up 6 spots. Biggest fallers were myself, Chinny, and Dale, who each fell 4. Let me know what you think if you have any discrepancies with my rankings, and I will see you all next week.